Hi everyone, warm welcome to Prime Business with me, Pius Kojo Baka. On to our very first story. Government has announced that it has extended the deadline for the exchange of domestic dollar bonds and cocoa bills. Now, the process, which should have been finalized on last Thursday, is now expected to be closed on August 18. There is more.
The Finance Ministry in the statement maintained that the extension of the domestic dollar bonds was in response to feedback from eligible bondholders for more time to secure internal approvals to participate in the offer. However, Bank, which is leading the cocoa bills offer, was silent on the reasons for the extension. Settlement for the domestic dollar bonds will now be done on the 21st of August 2023, while the cocoa bill settlement will be done on the 25th of August 2023. Government is hoping to restructure almost 20 billion cedis worth of bonds when you put the value of these two papers together. This exercise is very important in securing the next tranche of funds from the IMF for this year.
And Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has indicated that government is hopeful of finalizing pension funds restructuring by September this year. The Finance Ministry on July 31 this year started the process to restructure 31 billion Ghana cedis worth of pension funds. Now, the offer is expected to end on August 18. The Chamber of Pension Trustees have signaled their intention to participate in the offer after several setbacks. Speaking on GTV's Current Affairs shows, that's Talking Point, Mr. Ofori-Atta noted that current challenges facing the economy warrant the pension funds to be brought on board.
There's about maybe 29 billion of pension fund money in which we sat with union and agreed that, given where we are as a nation, something ought to be done, the interest that we are paying, so that there will be fiscal space. Then the question was, how do you do it? And that's where we agreed to discuss mutually sustainable ways in which you get the economy stronger. So the question then is, how do we open up that space and open the thinking so that other instruments can be created that will be safer for you into the future. I think those discussions that we have had since last year, and I think we are coming to some closure that will be beneficial to both parties. So I'm excited about the dialogue that we have had over the period, the understanding of what is mutually beneficial and sustainable for the economy. And I believe that by the end of the summer, September, we should be able to have a system that is more robust looking into the future, that also supports an alternative offer that will be agreeable for everyone.
To everyone.
Yeah.
Okay.
And on the back of this, Organized Labour in the last couple of hours has issued a statement on this, stating their position on the alternative offer for pension funds. And I would like to read excerpts of that statement for you. It reads, at Organized Labour leadership meeting held last Thursday, August 3rd, at the Hall of Trade Union in Accra, the alternative offer for pension funds exchange were discussed. And after an extensive deliberation on the offer, as stated in the exchange memorandum, which was issued by the Ministry of Finance on 31st July 2023, the meeting concluded that the term stated in the alternative offer is better than the initial offer Organized Labour rejected in December 2022. In particular, the alternative offer guarantees the following. 1. No loss in patrimonial value. This means bonds held by pension schemes will not incur any losses on their patrimonial value. Second, it has to do with tradability. The bonds can be actively traded on the secondary bond market. And thirdly, liquidity. That is, there is assurance that coupons and maturities will be paid on time. It goes on to say that the leadership of Organized Labour therefore decided that since the alternative offer is voluntary, the various boards of trustees of pension funds should independently assess the alternative offer and participate in the exchange based on the assessment and in the best interest of their members. It concludes by saying, in an event that government fails to implement the provisions as stated in the exchange memorandum, Organized Labour will advise itself. And this is signed by Dr. Yauba, Secretary General of TUC. Moving on to some other stories, ratings agency Fitch has indicated that it will assign Ghana a positive rating once the country completes the restructuring of local currency bonds held by pension funds. According to the UK-based firm, it will upgrade Ghana's ratings based on a forward-looking assessment of its willingness and capacity to honor its local currency debt. Here's more.
Which also said it will review Ghana's outlook to a positive one once the country reaches an agreement with private creditors on the restructuring of foreign currency denominated debt and completes the restructuring process following the common framework official creditors claim treatment. It, however, said it would downgrade Ghana in the event of increased risk that the country fails to honor the first coupon payment bonds due in August. Fitch's proprietary sovereign rating model assigns Ghana a score equivalent to a rating of CCC plus on the long-term foreign currency IDR scale. However, in accordance with this rating criteria, Fitch's sovereign rating committee has not utilized the SRM and qualitative overlay. Fitch's SRM is the agency's proprietary multiple regression rating model that employs 18 variables based on 3-year centered averages.
Now, the Ministry of Finance has expressed optimism that its Emergency Expenditure Management Guidelines and Audit Recommendations document would aid in curbing financial infractions within the public institutions. Deputy Minister Dr. John Kuma said the move would aid in providing a proper framework on how the country would ensure fiscal discipline. He was speaking at the official launch of the Emergency Expenditure Management Guidelines and Audit Recommendations Implementation Follow-up Instructions for Public Institutions.
Today's occasion forms a crucial step towards providing a means of making government more accountable to the good people of Ghana, so we can be more confident about the future of our country and the management of public resources. The launch of the Emergency Expenditure Management Guidelines and the Audit Recommendations Implementation and Follow-up Instructions for Public Institutions are designed to provide a clear, transparent framework for how we respond to crisis and uphold fiscal discipline in our public emergencies and improve public accountability. The Emergency Expenditure Management Guidelines were created in response to recent challenges, including the global pandemic that tested the resilience of our country's ability to respond effectively to the impact of COVID-19 pandemic whilst complying to the requirements of the PFM Act. Furthermore, the guidelines present procedures and internal controls that will direct service delivery units on the means to assess, manage, and account for funding during an emergency with efficiency and transparency, whilst ensuring compliance with various requirements of the PFM laws.
As part of efforts to improve digital inclusion and gender inclusivity, communications firm MTN has committed 12 million cedis to the development of digital skills amongst the females in the country. Now, the initiative, which will be implemented through the Girls in ICT initiative, is being championed by the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization. There is more in this report.
The MTN Girls in ICT Open Day program hosted about 100 girls from the Bono and Ahafo regions to improve their exposure to emerging technologies through mentorship. The initiative, which is spearheaded by the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization, saw female tech personalities encourage the girls to venture into the technology space while bridging the gender disparity gap. Speaking at the sensitization session, Chief Corporate Services and Sustainability Officer at MTN, Adjoa Wiafe, said MTN is committed to supporting underprivileged segments in society to ensure gender equality.
For this program, we have committed about 12 million Ghana cedis over a period of 3 years. We committed it in 2021, and so we are supporting the ministry with that. Aside that, we have our foundation that is also focused on ensuring and training and in digital skills. So our foundation is focused on the youth, with girls and those who are underprivileged being the focus. The reason why we are focusing on girls is the disparity that we have in the in ICT when it comes to digital skills. So we are focusing on underprivileged or underserved segments of our society. now. So to bring them up and ensure some gender parity when it comes to ICT skills. So that's why we are focusing on girls.
Some of the participants spoke to Joy Business.
At first, I wanted to become a geologist, but by attending this program, I think I have to change my mind, and forcefully in my mind, in my own self, I have to change my mind to become a computer engineer, because this program has helped me a lot to know everything I know. I mean, some things, though I'm not full, so some things about ICT, and I'm enjoying it a lot. So, Girls in ICT program, thank you for coming on to our aid.
Last year, they organized some program called Girls in ICT, which is a coding club, and it's helped me to do animations using computer or laptop, and it will help the youth to become active using ICT tools.
MTN pledged to set up a $25 million ICT hub, which will boost various disciplines in the tech space and boost Ghana's digitalization drive. The theme for the program is Digital Skills for Life.
And that's it for Prime Business with me, Pius Kojo Baka. Prime Sports is next.